The land of Egypt was filled with the cries of the oppressed.
Faster! Move those stones, slaves!
The Israelites, once honored guests in the time of Joseph, had become slaves under the rule of a Pharaoh who no longer remembered the past. Day after day, men bent their backs beneath heavy burdens, women worked endlessly in the fields, and children grew up in the shadow of whips. Yet despite their suffering, the people multiplied, and this troubled Pharaoh's heart. Fearing that the Israelites might rise against him, Pharaoh gave a cruel command.
Every son born to the Hebrews shall not live, and let no challenge rise against me.
Every Hebrew boy that is born must be thrown into the Nile. Only the girls may live. It was during this time that a Levite woman gave birth to a son. For 3 months she hid him, shielding him from the eyes of soldiers. But the child grew stronger, his cries louder, and she knew she could hide him no longer. With trembling hands, she prepared a basket of reeds, sealed it with tar, and placed her baby inside. Tears streamed down her face as she carried him to the Nile. She kissed his forehead one last time and pushed the basket into the current. The baby's sister, Miriam, followed at a distance, watching the tiny ark drift along the reeds. Soon the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe. She saw the basket, sent her maid to fetch it, and when she opened it, a baby's cry filled the air. Her heart was moved with compassion. "This must be one of the Hebrew children," she said. Miriam, bold and quick-thinking, stepped forward. "Shall I go and find a Hebrew woman to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and so the baby's own mother was called to care for him until he was weaned. When the boy grew older, he was brought into Pharaoh's household. He was given the name Moses, meaning, "I drew him out of the water." Moses grew into a man of wisdom and strength, trained in all the knowledge of Egypt. Yet though he wore the garments of a prince, his heart never forgot the plight of his people. One day, walking among the fields, he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave mercilessly. Rage burned in him. Looking around to see that no one was near, Moses struck the Egyptian down and hid his body in the sand. But word spread quickly. Pharaoh sought his life, and Moses fled into the wilderness. Far from Egypt, Moses built a new life. He became a shepherd in Midian, married Zipporah, and tended the flocks of his father-in-law. 40 years passed. One day, as he guided the sheep near Mount Horeb, he saw a bush ablaze with fire, yet the flames did not consume it. Moses approached in awe. "I will turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned." Then a voice thundered from the flames.
"Moses, Moses,
Here I am.
do not come closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you stand is holy ground."
"I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." Moses hid his face, afraid to look upon God. "I have seen the misery of my people in Egypt," the Lord said. "I have heard their cry. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of bondage." Moses protested, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" The Lord replied, "I will be with you." Still, Moses hesitated. "What if they will not believe me?" The Lord showed him signs. His staff became a serpent, his hand turned leprous and was healed, and water from the Nile turned into blood. Yet Moses pleaded, "I am slow of speech and tongue." The Lord answered, "Your brother Aaron shall speak for you. But go, for I am sending you." So Moses returned to Egypt. Together with Aaron, he went before Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, let my people go this instant.
Who is this God I should obey? Who is thy God that gives this order?
Go back and tell your God that I will not let his people go.
Then began the great contest between God and Pharaoh. The Nile turned to blood, frogs filled the land, gnats and flies swarmed the air. Livestock died, boils covered the skin, hail and locusts destroyed the crops, and darkness cloaked the land for 3 days. Yet Pharaoh's heart remained hard. Finally, God declared, "One plague more I will bring. At midnight, every firstborn in Egypt shall die. But my people shall mark their doors with the blood of a lamb. When I see the blood, I will pass over you." That night, a terrible cry rose in Egypt as death struck the households of the Egyptians. Pharaoh's own son lay still in his arms. Broken at last, Pharaoh called for Moses. "Go, take your people and serve the Lord as you have said. Leave Egypt with haste." The Israelites gathered their belongings, unleavened bread upon their backs, and set out into the desert. But soon Pharaoh's heart hardened again. He assembled his army, 600 chariots thundering across the sands, pursuing the children of Israel to the edge of the Red Sea. The people trembled when they saw the waters before them and the army behind. "Why have you brought us out here to die?" they cried. But Moses lifted his staff and declared, "Fear not, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord. The Egyptians you see today, you shall never see again." The sea roared as a mighty wind blew all night. The waters parted, rising up like walls on either side, and a path of dry ground appeared. The Israelites stepped into the heart of the sea, thousands upon thousands, walking between walls of water with wonder in their eyes. Pharaoh's army pursued, chariots racing into the path. But as dawn broke, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and cloud, throwing them into confusion. Wheels jammed, horses reared, and fear gripped the soldiers. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea." Moses obeyed. The waters crashed back with a thunderous roar, swallowing the chariots and the mighty army of Pharaoh. Not one of them survived. On the far shore, the Israelites stood in awe, gazing upon the sea that had closed behind them. They were free at last. Moses lifted his voice and sang, "The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. The horse and rider he has hurled into the sea, and the people rejoiced, for the God who had delivered them from Egypt was with them.